So during the latest Nintendo Direct, we learned about a lot of games that were coming to the Switch in the very near future. But there was one company that was kind of absent from any sort of game announcements from this Direct, and it was Nintendo. Nintendo didn't really talk about any of their 2020 plans, which a lot of people expected to sort of learn about. Really, Nintendo has been quiet all throughout the year. Of course, we had Animal Crossing just come out for the Nintendo Switch, and Xenoblade Chronicles Definitive Edition is coming out in May now, but other than that, we don't know what Nintendo is doing in the year of 2020 for the Nintendo Switch. Well, a big leak went out this morning, accumulating from 3 different websites, Video Game Chronicles, Eurogamer, and Gematsu, that really sort of detail what Nintendo is doing in 2020, and it involves Mario, a lot of Mario, and there are a lot of Mario games coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2020. What's up guys, I'm RGT85. If this is your first time on the channel, be sure to hit that subscribe button. But without any further ado, let's talk about all of the Mario games that are rumored to be coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2020 and see what games there are for you. So a lot of this is of course stemming from the fact that this is Mario's 35th anniversary. The original Super Mario Bros. Released on the NES back in 1985, and to celebrate it, Nintendo has been doing, well, some sort of things with the Mario franchise. Of course, we got the Mario and Lego collection with some new toys for the 35th anniversary, and people were like, all right, that's kind of cool. You know, I never had Legos growing up. I was a Lincoln Logs man. I like to build my little cabins because that's all you could really do with Lincoln Logs. And then, of course, Levi and Nintendo teamed up as well for some Super Mario related clothing. But as far as games were concerned, it looked like Nintendo was going to be pretty quiet with Mario games in the year 2020. But of course, we should have expected more. Nintendo has done things in the past with Mario anniversaries. Of course, on the Nintendo Wii, there was the Mario 25th Anniversary Collection. That consisted of 4 different games that released on the Nintendo Wii, and there was a deluxe edition that also came with the soundtrack as well. But it looks like Nintendo is doing a lot more with the Mario franchise in 2020 for the 35th anniversary. And like I said, this is accumulation between 3 different websites reporting on all of this. And so far, they have reported 5 games coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2020 that are all Mario related. 4 of them are remasters, and 1 of them is new. So I want to go over these 4 individual games. I want to talk about the new game as well, and then just give you guys my thoughts on what they can do and why these games are going to be exciting. So the first game that is talked about as coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2020 is Super Mario Sunshine, which of course originally released on the Nintendo GameCube. Now to me, Super Mario Sunshine was a bit of a polarizing game. I thought it was a good game, but I didn't quite like it as much as the other 3D games in the Mario franchise, but that's just me personally. I know a lot of people out there really love Super Mario Sunshine, and they will be happy to see a remaster of this game done. Of course, like I said, this originally released on the GameCube, so this is one of the 4 games that I think has the most room for sort of growth when it comes to what they can do with this game. Obviously, you could just do an HD version of the game, but I feel like Nintendo would want to put maybe a little bit more oomph into this game and really just sort of make it stand out a bit. Maybe tighten up the controls for FLUDD a little bit more, as FLUDD was one of the more interesting additions into Super Mario Sunshine, but I think this could be a really good game for the Nintendo Switch, and you know what? I will definitely check it out again. Maybe my connotations and my negative connotations of Super Mario Sunshine will change a bit, and maybe I'll end up loving the game, or maybe I'll just end up liking it some more. The next game we're going to talk about is Super Mario 3D World, which of course released on the Nintendo Wii U, is allegedly another one of these games that is coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2020. Now, this shouldn't be really a surprise to anyone. Nintendo has been bringing over most of the major games from the Wii U onto the Nintendo Switch. We've seen it all throughout the course of the Nintendo Switch thus far. Some people like it, some people don't. I think they're good in individual cases. Some games like New Super Mario Bros. U, maybe that shouldn't have been brought over as a $60 game in my opinion, but I think Super Mario 3D World is a great game. I really enjoyed playing that game on the Wii U. When I first played that game, I was like, all right, cool. We finally have a proper Mario game on the Nintendo Wii U, because New Super Mario Bros. U just wasn't really a game for me. One thing I think is interesting about Super Mario 3D World is the fact that I feel like they will do some sort of stuff like they did with Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. Now, of course, Captain Toad Treasure Tracker was a Wii U game that was brought over to the Nintendo Switch, but they added in some new content. They added in that Super Mario Odyssey content into Captain Toad Treasure Tracker. So I feel like Nintendo will probably add in some new content into Super Mario 3D World, maybe have some new Donk City related things into that game, and I think that would be really cool. I think this is a game that will really shine on the Nintendo Switch because, well, a lot of people didn't play it on the Wii U. Now, the next two games are where things get very interesting to me. The first game we're going to talk about is Super Mario Galaxy. Now, Super Mario Galaxy was, let's be real, probably one of the best, if not the best games on the Nintendo Wii. It was just a fantastic Mario experience. The levels were very creative, and all the things that you did within that game were just super fun. The soundtrack was awesome. The visuals were very nice for the Wii, I thought, and this is a game that would definitely benefit from being on the Nintendo Switch, because I feel like they could once again sort of do something like Super Mario Sunshine and just improve upon this game, really do some fun things with it, maybe add in some new content, or maybe just do a coat of HD polish for this game. Now, of course, this game did release on the Wii U via the Wii emulation that was available on the system, so I'm not quite sure if Nintendo will put a lot of time and effort into sort of adding things into that game or doing things like improving upon the graphics. I feel like if one game on this list will just be a pretty much straight up port with just HD visuals, I think it would be Super Mario Galaxy, because you really can't improve all too much upon the core game that it was offered when it came out on the Nintendo Wii, and I think just better visuals would definitely help that game out to sort of make it an HD version of Super Mario Galaxy. I think that would be absolutely awesome. But the final game is definitely my most exciting game, because I think this one has the most potential out of all of them, and that is Super Mario 64. Now, Super Mario 64 kicks ass. It is my favorite Mario game. It is one of my favorite games of all time, and yeah, maybe that's nostalgia talking, but I absolutely love the premise of Super Mario 64. This huge castle in which you go into this castle, and within the castle, all these crazy different levels are in there, collecting all the stars, trying to find all the secrets within Super Mario 64. Super Mario 64 was a game I played to death on the N64. Super Mario 64 was a game that I played to death on the N64. Super Mario 64 DS was a game that I played to death on the Nintendo DS. I like the multiplayer additions that they included into that game, and sort of the fun little mini games as well, and the different characters you could play as. I really thought that was a cool version of the game. I think Super Mario 64, though, however, has the most chance to be a standout title, because that's a game that I feel like you would want to build it from the ground up. Take that core gameplay, take that setting, and then just improve upon it. You know, make these beautiful HD visuals. I hope that they do a full-on remaster of this game. I want to see like a Super Mario Odyssey style Super Mario 64, where they rebuild the game from the ground up with maybe that Super Mario Odyssey engine, and then just have these beautiful HD visuals, include some extra stuff as well. This is by far the most exciting of the 4 games that are coming to the Nintendo Switch in 2020 in the Mario lineup, because I think it has the most potential to be a full-on remaster where they just add in so much stuff, and it's time for Super Mario 64 to get one more shot in the sunshine and just one more glimmer of hope as one of the greatest games of all time. So those are the 4 games that are being remastered for the Nintendo Switch and allegedly releasing in 2020. But like I said, there is a brand new Mario game that is also coming out as well that's being reported in the year 2020, and that is Paper Mario, a new Paper Mario game. Now, looking at the Paper Mario series, it hasn't been all that great for the series. The last game that we got was, of course, Paper Mario Color Splash, which I didn't really hate the game. I just thought it was pretty average, and it was definitely way too easy. And the Paper Mario games used to be really good. I feel like all the Paper Mario games up until the Wii version were really good, and then everything after the Wii version was just sort of, I don't know, it just didn't really capture the essence of the 3 previous Mario games that we got on the N64, the GameCube, and the Wii respectively. Like, the writing in those games was absolutely hilarious, and it felt like they sort of just dumbed it down a bit for things like the 3DS versions of the game and Paper Mario Color Splash. So I would really like to see Paper Mario just be brought to the forefront once again with a fantastic action RPG experience. I think you could do a lot with that franchise as well. Obviously, Mario is finding himself in sorts of different situations when it comes to games. The Mario and Rabbids collection was sort of an action RPG game in the style of XCOM, so I think you could do a lot with the Paper Mario franchise and make it really stand out as one of the must-own titles for the Nintendo Switch in 2020. So like I said, we got 4 remasters coming to the Nintendo Switch, and of course 1 brand new game, but I do have a few questions and caveats when it comes to this. The first question that definitely springs to mind would be the pricing of these games, because honestly, I don't know if you could release all of these games in 2020, release them all at the $60 price point, and then expect people to just buy them up. Now, me personally, I probably will, but the average consumer obviously wouldn't want to buy all of these games at $60. That's $240 just for the remasters, not including the Paper Mario game, which would then tip the scale to $300 if you're in the United States, and even more so in Canada. So I feel like pricing is going going to be very important. I think you could do something like a compilation or a collection of these games, and I think some of these games may end up being just digital releases based on how much work is put into it. A game like Super Mario 64, I hope is not. I hope they just go balls out with this, but a game like Super Mario Galaxy, if it's simply just an HD coat of paint, maybe they could do a digital release of that game at a lower price point. It's really going to be interesting to see how much Nintendo puts into these remasters on the individual games to sort of see what price points we're going to see on these games. And another question I have is, well, Mario is awesome. I love all of these Mario games. I'm definitely looking forward to playing them again, but what else is there beyond the Mario games that Nintendo Switch owners can expect in 2020? Obviously, if Nintendo is developing 5 Super Mario games in-house, what else are they working on that is going to come out in the year of 2020? That seems like a lot of games to be sort of throwing out there to be working on all at the same time. Is it just going to be a Mario related 2020, or will we see other franchises and other games from Nintendo as well? Obviously, we didn't learn anything about the Nintendo games for 2020 and the Nintendo Direct that we just had with the mini Direct in March, so I'm really curious to see what else Nintendo has in store for maybe non-Mario fans on the Nintendo Switch. But let's be real, if you own a Nintendo Switch, you are probably a Mario fan, as Mario is an iconic character, and to celebrate his 35th anniversary with 5 games coming out, well, that's just pretty damn impressive. Like I said, this is definitely something to file in the rumor mill right now, but with 3 major websites collaborating on this and basically having the same sort of information, it definitely looks like it's going to happen. And considering that it is Mario's 35th anniversary, you know Nintendo's gonna go all out and do some really fun stuff with it. So let me know in the comment section what you think of all these games, what games you're looking forward to seeing, and maybe what other Mario games you would like to see brought back. And as always, guys, thank you for checking out this video. If you're new to the channel, make sure you subscribe and turn on notifications. Be sure to check out other videos on the channel, and as always, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Later.